Uh, Hi, I'm Karin. I'm currently a student doing. Oh. Hi, I'm Karin. I'm currently studying electronic engineering at University of Southampton, doing my master's degree.
And this is Talut from Bangladesh doing PhD in the city in sustainable energy planning. So, can you hear me, Corinne?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So today I'm going to present something on importing geothermal power from Iceland to the United Kingdom for meeting the baseload demand. Can you see the slides?
Yeah.
Thank you. The biggest problem with the renewable power, I mean renewable resources like wind or solar, is inconsistency. I mean, you do not get wind power when wind is down, or the solar power at night, or when it's cloudy. So we have to think of something. If we really want to go green, I mean completely go green, we need to seriously think about meeting the supply um, from a consistent energy source for the first time. I mean, at the beginning. So, what are the resources? This is really, really difficult to find any consistent renewable power supply. So, there is one called geothermal power, geothermal energy resources. So, what are these? We know there are a lot of hot materials underneath our earth crust, and if we can extract that heat to boil up some water, and you with that steam, I mean from boiled water, you can use a steam power, I mean steam pressure, to rotate some turbines, which is coupled with an electrical generator. Then you can have power from that. This is the simple basic idea. And Iceland, we can see a map here, which is we can see some of the places of the world, and dragon belt we call it, and these places are full of geysers. I mean hot springs where the earth crust is really really thin, and in these regions, I mean among these places, if you just use some of the resources and install some geothermal power plants, you can have a lot of um, renewable power from those resources. Because uh, just like other renewable resources, this is also abundant and practically endless. Not theoretically, but practically. So, what about the costs? In the previous conversation, about the estimation of the costs. Let me have some look. In geothermal options, this is really highly site sensitive. I mean, you geothermal material, I mean the lava or magma, which is just underneath our crust, from where we'll extract some heat energy to rotate our turbines. If that is very deep, then the cost will be higher. Fortunately, Iceland is really, really feasible in this regard. I mean, the geothermal, I mean, the thermal sources underneath its earth crust is not that deep. So, if we just consider the geothermal power plant prospects of feasibility, these are some estimations. I mean, per kilowatt uh, of installation, the cost will be somewhat like United States dollar from 1800 to 5000. And There are several kinds of geothermal power plants. The binary plants are normally more expensive than the direct dry steam and flash plants. And the levelized electricity ranges from 4 cents to 14 cents for per kilowatt hour. And there are some additional maintenance costs, but aggregating all these are still feasible because we have to consider reliability and security. I mean, consistency, think about it, which is a very big and a very considerable aspect from geothermal power plants, which is not available in solar or wind because they are not supplying you with consistent power. So in that regard, geothermal trumps all green resources. Think about nuclear hazard. If you just try to consider that, since that's cheaper, some say, and that is also supplying you with consistent power. But the problem is nuclear hazard. If you just install a lot of nuclear power plants in this tiny space of United Kingdom, and if one or two of them blows, happen, that's really a tremendous problem that we have to consider. So let's talk about importing geothermal power from Iceland to the inland. Uh, the distance is around 800 miles, which is a little variable, but we'll try to consider the shortest possible route, and which is this 730 miles. And after that, what would happen? Here are some considerations about the cables, submarine cables you have to use, because there is a sea in between these two countries, so you have to use submarine cable, which is a little expensive, but look at the prices. So this is VSC HVDC, high voltage DC offshore cable, which is considering the 320 kilovolt of load. The price of that would be 1.1 million pound per kilometer. And there are some additional costs incurred in here. If you just consider the converters or collectors or some transformers, there are some other costs you have to consider for the initial investment to erect the plant. And I have given here an example. So here is the example of Helishedi Power Station, Iceland. What is that? That is producing a 300 megawatt peak of electricity and 133 megawatt of hot water. Okay, this is actually ton hour. So this is another additional byproduct from this type of geothermal power plant. And look at the prices. I mean, investment cost 800 million USD, which is equivalent to 572 million. I mean, half a billion, a little more billion British pound sterlings, and at the end consumer price becomes 4 cents per kilowatt hour, which is really cheaper compared to the other resources. And look at, here are some additional estimations. Therefore, if we consider a 1 gigawatt power plant, which will cost 1.7 billion pound, and HVDC submarine cable expansions, which would cost an additional 1.5 billion pound. If we just aggregate these, this will be a little lower than 3.2 billion pound. And if you just consider uh, pair it with a wind resource or wind power plant of 1 gigawatt peak that is costing right now 4 to 5 billion pound. And there is a very important thing to be considered here, that is storage in case of wind, because you are not supplying consistent power resources. When the wind is down, the plant is actually producing no power at all. But in that time, meanwhile, the geothermal is producing exactly the same amount. Okay, this is consistently providing power. What about the costs? Here is a comparative analysis between all the costs, which is actually a little baffling because this is actually presenting cost per megawatt hour of energy, electrical energy. But this is actually not considering, I mean, ignoring a lot of important aspects like consistency. Yeah, wind power plant is providing cheaper rate, I mean, power at a cheaper rate. But what about its consistency? I mean, when the wind is down, it is not supplying anything. But at the same time, geothermal, which is a green resource, it is supplying a lot of power. I mean, the consistently with higher reliability and energy security is really ensured in case of geothermal, because you can use it as the base load, which is not possible in case of wind or solar if you do not use the energy storage. And when you are actually combining energy storage systems with wind and solar, the price becomes 4 or 5 times more, and then it becomes much less feasible than geothermal or other resources too. But right now, if you just consider it, yeah, the power price is getting lower in case of all the energy resources. Some of them are getting higher, but the renewable resources, they are getting lower. But the main problem is if you just combine them with the energy storage system, they will not remain in this rate. Okay, they will become higher. So this is actually kind of embedazzling representation of this energy. Okay, it is ignoring a lot of things like reliability and consistency. So there are several challenges. Uh, System lock-in, that's a big problem because this country is heavily based on fossil fuel, nuclear. Now, the most of the renewable resources are coming from wind, which is local. Okay, that's a very important thing, because when you are trying to import power from other countries, a lot of geopolitical issues come in. Like Iceland is a Euro country, Schengen country, and after Brexit, United Kingdom is not. And there may be some geopolitical tensions regarding this. And investment, yeah, I'm really not certain about these things. If an English investor is willing to invest money in this scheme, I mean, installing some geothermal in Iceland and bringing it in here, what would happen? How the political entities will react upon this, and how the investment will be presented as an attractive option for investing such a huge amount of money. And will there be some additional, what should I say, expenses incurred through this geopolitical turning into some economic issues? And what about the Icelandic will or intentions or mindset? Would not know about it. Will they be agreeing about it to allow you to install such big schemes? Really do not know about these things. But I believe that if you are really, really optimist, and you just take initiatives, there may be some positive changes regarding this, and I believe this is possible to bring some consistent geothermal power from Iceland into United Kingdom to supply you with some green power as base load. So that was all for now. So was it clear? Do you have anything to ask regarding this?
Yeah, I think that makes sense. It looks
Thank you.
like kind of a decent option. And yeah, I think I like solar and wind a lot as well, and they are cheap, but they do definitely have the issue of variability, which doesn't happen with geothermal energy.
Yeah,
Uh,
geothermal energy have had some issue like that. I mean, there are some emissions from that too, but they are not as hazardous as carbon. There are some carbon emissions too, but very negative, okay, which can be treated or which can be mitigated with other options like plantation or some filtering or some carbon capture or some there are some other gases like sulfurous or phosphorus gas, but they can be lowered or filtered or they can be injected back into the oil. There are several mitigating or solutions to handle or address these issues. Undoubtedly, this is a very safe source. I mean, this is a renewable and environment friendly so resource. I mean, geothermal.
yeah. I don't know about what are the emissions like from building the power station in the first place. So I
Okay,
imagine
this is
you
okay.
have to
Let me
dig
tell you.
big holes, and
This is
that's not great. But I don't
the
know.
main, yeah, the main principle of producing geothermal power. This is just like steam turbine. Okay, you are injecting water into the ground, and it becomes hot with the touch. I mean, there are boiler system. I mean, there are several tubes, and there are hot materials of the geothermal resources around it, heating it up, and the hot water, the boiled water, goes up again. And with the high pressure steam, you just rotate your turbine, which is coupled with the generator, and that generator is producing power. This is similar to the power plant used in coal or nuclear or other turbines. I mean, steam turbines. The same operation, but in this case, the fuel is actually geothermal materials, which is underneath the ground. That's why this is safe, this is greener. So, as a political activist or a pro green activist, what do you think about it? And how should we attract, how can we attract English investors uh, towards this type of thing or this ideas? And how your government can come up, or how this movement should be proceeded?
Yeah. Uh, so yeah, implementing it is hard. So I don't have a direct solution of what we do. Uh, my instinct would be I know there are some investment sites that get lots of people to put in a small amount of money. I don't know how easy that is,
Okay, here is a point.
but you need
Small amount of
a
money,
lot.
you just told me. At first, you can begin it with small power plants, small geothermal power plants, like 50 megawatt or 100 megawatt. Just install one there and bring some power in. And you have to show them that this is really, really feasible and benefiting, much more profitable than installing a wind power, which is much more challenging. Since you are doing offshore now, okay, offshore has a lot of difficulties while installing it. You know, installing a huge, massive wind turbine and offshore. a lot of things to be considered. Okay, there are engineering challenges, there are political challenges. Okay, because among some spaces, regions, people do not like it. This is blocking the views. Okay, there are some protests and movements against it already around your country. Perhaps you're aware of it. In Brighton, when you were installing a lot of turbines, people actually protested. They're damaging the views of the sea. But in case of, Iceland, a very few people, and I do believe that since this will enhance their economic activities, they will welcome it if you just can make it attractive, make the deal attractive with them. You have to go with some diplomatic approaches to make this happen. But initially, you can invest less. I mean, the small investors can think about it because this is more feasible than any other green resources. Not only that, even compared to the coal or nuclear, this is much less. I mean, investment, but the profit is much higher. And a plant will last for 20 to 30 years. And the rate of return is really, really high. Payback period is low. Uh, the risks are low because there are storms and the tornado or this type of things are rising with the global warming. And this type of things you can ignore. I mean, you can avoid in this type of geothermal power plant. There are
Yeah,
multifaceted benefits, okay, which are not available in other options in this import of geothermal power plant power from Iceland to the United Kingdom.
yeah. So I think the best people who would be able to invest in this, I would probably look into kind of the people who are currently building solar panels and those kinds of things, and the companies that are doing that, and try to see what the steps are they go through to get all of that to happen
Yeah,
and how to
another
get
one
involvement.
just crossed my mind. Your power demand will be rising with the rise in the market of electric vehicle, and perhaps United Kingdom. I mean, this country's energy demand was constant since a while. Okay, but it is again rising because of the electric vehicle market that is expanding. So you can try some of this demand. I mean, the increased demand could be partially fulfilled through this type of import. Okay, since this is green, you are trying to make your environment cleaner, aren't you? So, since the demand is rising and you are trying to install more and more power plants, I mean, the wind power plants or solar power plants here and there, which is consuming a lot of money, not only money, sometimes claiming a lot of land and windshore areas and the fishing and some of the natural views are blocked regarding this type of plants. You can think about this. I mean, you can use these trade-offs. Mm, okay, in case of geothermal, I mean promoting geothermal import from Iceland. These are some strong rationals, I think. So, what do you think about it?
Yeah, I think I really like the idea, and I think it's great. I just don't know enough about
Okay,
how to
so let me
implement it,
tell
so
you
I need to
about the
research that more.
approach. How we can proceed. We
Yeah,
can place it in our SUSU, okay, in our union, student union. Then we can make some better slides, some better estimation, and then we can go to the Green Party leader, Green Party MP, to consider this, and perhaps she or he can make contact with the investors who are really looking for the better options. Since this is more feasible, I believe that it won't be very difficult to proceed through a diplomatic approach between these two countries because you are already bringing some power from other, and those are not even renewable. Okay, but pro-green people, number of pro-green people is rising everywhere. Okay, you want to go green, so why not try this option? I mean, begin with a small chunk, 50 or 100 megawatt first. Okay, since your demand is rising with the rise in the number of electric vehicle, but if you try to meet that with again dirty energy sources, what's the difference? We are again in the same point of destruction of our nature. So why not try this? You are
Yeah.
having a lot of green energy consistently. That's the most important thing. The most of the opponents against green energy promotion, they are always place this excuse. Okay, that when the wind is down, what we'll do? There will be tremendous, which will put this entire country under danger. Okay, lack of energy security, this type of thing. But if you use geothermal energy, that's actually the only consistent renewable resource. Okay, from which you can have consistent supply of power, which is very near to you, only 700 miles. Using high voltage DC transmission cable, you can bring it in, and there will be no problem because DC communication line, power cable, some of the places of the earth, it's being used even at longer distance. Okay, this is I'm talking about only 700 to 800 miles, but more than 3,000 miles HVDC cables are already in operation, which is a proven technology. Okay, so I
Yeah.
think we have to make a group and then proceed. Have to approach our green MP and talk about it. Then he can, or he or she can talk on that with the investors and other political groups to seriously consider this. Okay, we can have some more research study, but I'm quite optimistic about it. This will be cheaper than the other options. Trust me.
Yeah, I like it. Uh, I have. I want to look into how kind of the government does things and how industry does things, so I can
Thank
just
you.
see better
Okay,
about how to
I
actually
need your
make it happen
support
and get investors.
because this is your benefit since you are in English, and I am just discussing this proposal with you for your benefit, and perhaps this can be a regional cooperation regarding the global energy movement. Okay, this can be an initialization to show the world that this can, bringing in. You have already considered some options like desertic, bringing power from Africa or the Middle East, solar power, but that's not consistent. Okay, I think that this will be feasible, more profitable for you because this is consistent, and you can use this power as base load. Okay, which was not considered before because using renewable power as base load, that's really difficult and the most challenging in this renewable energy arena. But you can address that challenge with this idea, bringing geothermal power from Iceland, which is possible, which is consistent, which is more feasible. Regarding economic, technological, and all other issues. And I believe there is no political tension between United Kingdom and Iceland right now. So this is high time you can use such goodwill between you.
Yeah.
So let's proceed. Okay. let's discuss this with our fellows and our student union, and then we can go to some political entities to discuss it, because this is a pro-green idea, and all the challenges actually exhibited in the escalation or green power in United Kingdom can be addressed with this idea. Okay, especially from the rivals or the opponents who were placing a lot of excuses against the green energy promotion or wind power or solar power, but that can be addressed through this idea. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you as well.
Do you have anything else to ask?
Not right now. I'm just kind of going through my head and trying to think about what to do next to make sure that we can actually
Okay, thank you. So
progress.
let's discuss it among your fellow mates who are available around you, especially the environment group. Okay, so
Yeah.
this can be an idea from the University of Southampton. Okay, and if you really can realize it or initiate it, some kind of steps further could be realized through this idea, that will be really an achievement, okay, of you, of yourselves, I mean, of this university, of your group, and of course you, Corinne. So let's proceed. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. So that was all for today.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks a lot for the conversation and discussion.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. I'll try to look in. I'll try to work out, get things happen,
Yeah.
and
Just
talk to you later.
brainstorm. Yeah. Do some brainstorming regarding this, and let's stay forward. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks.
Bye-bye.